Well, good Tuesday morning. Hopefully you're finding a way to stay warm as winter has returned. We've been spoiled through the month of February. Of course, we've talked about it over the last couple of weeks, just how warm February was. But Old Man Winter has returned. And of course, we're going to be dealing with these freezing temperatures once again as we head into your Wednesday and potentially Thursday morning. But tonight, definitely one of the coldest that we're going to be seeing as we are under that freeze warning once again. In many areas, probably going to see a hard freeze. So if you have sensitive plants, maybe pets, and even some pipes, you want to make sure to cover those up as well and take precautions as we go throughout the night. So let's start off with a live look there across Pigeon Forge. It's absolutely cloudy there. It's just kind of a cold, dreary afternoon and morning we're going to be looking at. Thankfully, not seeing much in the way of wintry weather, at least down at Pigeon Forge. Now, for areas that are farther to the north and into the higher elevations, different story. Let's take a closer look there at Gatlinburg. I'm going to go full screen on this, and maybe we can potentially see a few snowflakes falling. I haven't seen a whole lot this morning. There's been a few flurries here and there, but overall, we're looking at some snow-capped mountains there off in the distance, but a pretty nice start to the day nonetheless. So that's what we are currently looking at. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to go ahead and drop those down in the comments section as well. I'll be happy to answer those as we go throughout the rest of the day. So there's what we're looking at currently as we are looking at a pretty cold start to the day. Temperatures right now sitting back into lower to middle 30s. We'll take a look at that coming up in just a minute. But heading up into the Smokies, that's where we've got a dusting of snowfall there across Newfound Gap. So definitely a beautiful scene up there, a return of winter. We haven't seen a whole lot of snow over the last month to month and a half, especially here in the lower elevations. So we've seen a couple events that have brought us a little bit of snow, at least action coming to the ground, but not really sticking. Bit of a different story for some, though, as we head into today. So here's a look at our temperatures currently. 34 in Knoxville, so we really haven't moved a whole lot this morning thanks to that cloud cover. We're sitting at 28 in Oneida, 29 in Jamestown, 31 Harlan to 32 there in Pineville, and that's where we are dealing with a little bit of snowfall. And I'm going to show you the radar here in just a second. We'll take that kind of full screen to show you what we are dealing with that radar at the moment, showing you some of that snow making its way into portions of Knox and Bell counties there in southeastern Kentucky, back over towards Harlan and Lee County, Virginia. That's where we're dealing with a little bit of that snow action. And if we switch over to a higher resolution of that radar, this is what we're currently seeing at the moment. So definitely seeing some snowflakes flying in and around Harlan, back to Sneedville. This is all pushing off towards the south at a pretty brisk pace overall, heading towards Sneedville and Rogersville coming up over the next little bit. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Some pockets of moderate snowfall as well over towards Big Stone Gap. I know that's outside of the viewing region. Even a few flakes flying in and around Barberville, back to Middlesboro. A few snowflakes in and around La Follette as well, but those have really kind of tapered off over the last 30 to 45 minutes as it encounters that dry air. So that's why we're not expecting much in the way of wintry weather as we head into the valley. It's more so higher elevation event, and that's what we've been talking about the last couple of days. Now, as we look at the live radar, a little bit of snow flying in and around Gatlinburg, back to Newfound Gap, over towards Hartford and Hot Springs. That's heading over into the North Carolina side of things, where they picked up quite a few inches of snow over there towards Boone, back up into Beach Mountain. So those ski resort areas that you may be accustomed to, definitely picking up on some of that snowfall, so that's going to help that side of things. So looking at Futurecast, the snow is going to continue throughout much of the afternoon, slowly tapering off. For the rest of us, we're going to have to get rid of these clouds, and then we'll introduce a little bit of sunshine as we head through the second half of the day. So here it is by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, mostly sunny skies for us, still some clouds plateau back into southeastern Kentucky, but that snow is tapering off for the higher elevations, but it won't completely shut down until later this evening. Still a few flurries around the higher elevations and around Gatlinburg by 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, but most of us looking at mostly sunny skies. So if you want to brave the colder elements and head out, maybe do a late night run or a jog, make sure to bundle up for one, but also thankfully we'll be dealing with a little bit of sunshine and some of those lighter wind speeds as well. So that's something that we can look forward to, is that the sunshine is going to return. It's just a matter of time that we're going to be looking at. So here it is As we head through the afternoon, the forecast where you live, 10% chance of that stray flurry, stray mountain snow shower for us. 45 in Knoxville. Winds still a little gusty, northwest 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting upwards of 20 to maybe 25 at times. Shouldn't be quite as breezy as what we dealt with yesterday, but 47 Sweetwater to 47 Loudon, 48 there in Madisonville and Tellico Plains. We're sitting at 41 in Crossville to Jamestown to Wartburg to Oneida. Sitting at 44 there in La Follette to 43 Barberville, 42 in Middlesboro, and 42 there in Harlan with just a few clouds left over, but thankfully more sunshine than what we saw on your Monday. 45 for Dandridge, 44 there in Newport, 45 in Pigeon Forge. But if you're an allergy lover or an allergy hater like I am, of course, got bad allergies, sometimes you're sneezing, you're coughing, the whole 9 yards there. This is actually going to help at least reduce some of the pollen just a little bit. Thankfully, we've had a little bit of rainfall. Some of these colder temperatures not going to allow those flowers to bloom as quickly. It's going to kind of stunt those for a little bit, and we'll give you an allergy report coming up in just a few minutes. But a freeze warning, once again, basically for everyone. The one exception, Harlan County there, not in this particular freeze warning. It got below freezing this morning, so that kind of stopped that growing season there temporarily. And even the higher elevations around Monroe, Blount, Sevier, Cocke, and Greene counties, that's where we've got the freeze warning excluded. But through Wednesday morning, that includes Knox County. We expect temperatures to free fall tonight. Frost freeze likely. This morning we had that cloud cover, that little bit of a breeze, so it didn't allow the frost to lay as heavy. That's why you didn't see any of that white stuff out there this morning. Tomorrow it's going to be a different story. We're going to see mostly clear skies overnight, light winds. That's going to allow temperatures to fall to near 25 for Knoxville and Oneida, 24 Jamestown to 30 in Morristown. So you get the idea. Frigid start for your Wednesday morning. Allow yourself a little extra time as you're heading out the door. And of course, maybe scrape that frost scraper out of the back of the car and put that back in the front seat to help you in the morning. Thankfully, over the next couple of days, temperatures are warming. There's a slow warming trend, especially as we head towards Thursday and Friday. Average high this time of year, 61 degrees. We'll be back above that just barely Thursday and Friday, but that's also including the chance of some showers and maybe even some heavier rainfall, leading to a little bit of wintry mix, snow at the end of it for some. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a second. Here's a look at Futurecast, though. I'll pull it full screen. That way you can see how things are transpiring as we head through the rest of the week. Pretty dry Wednesday, Thursday. Then we'll increase those rain chances Friday morning. That light rain moves into the plateau, then eventually the valley, and lastly the mountains. And then some pockets of moderate to heavy rainfall possible as well as we head towards Friday evening. Cold air chases the moisture like we've seen the last couple of events, like what we're seeing today. That's going to bring in that northwest flow, eventually giving us a little bit of snowfall in the mountains through the day on Saturday, and then we kind of clear things out for the rest of the weekend. So one positive, you're looking ahead to the weekend, it's going to be mostly sunny. We may see a few clouds working their way in. Really not going to be looking at a whole lot in terms of wet weather, any rain, any snow, anything like that. So that's one positive. As we head towards next week, we'll begin to watch our next system brewing from the south. Yes, the possibility is there. We could see maybe a little wintry mix on the onset Tuesday. We'll see how that plays out. Something that's quite a few days away, of course, a week's worth away as of now. So I just want to kind of throw that out there and show you that we could potentially be looking at some more rainfall heading Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. In terms of temperatures, I mentioned that we're going to warm up as we head throughout the rest of the week. Here it is Thursday afternoon. We get that southwesterly flow back. Temperatures back into the lower to middle 60s. Here comes the cold front. You can see it marching across western Tennessee early on your Friday morning, right around 11:30. It's moving into Memphis, then to Nashville, and eventually Knoxville, and that's going to bump those temperatures down pretty drastically as we head into Saturday morning and eventually Saturday afternoon. But here's your allergy report. We're going ahead and looking ahead towards your Wednesday. Trees, that's the main issue right now. Jupiter, elm, maple, things like that are already beginning to bloom and bud. You can see it out there as you drive across East Tennessee, specifically with those warmer temperatures we've seen over the last month. This is what's causing the allergies. Eventually, we'll get into some mold and grass and weeds as we head closer to that springtime. Spring officially begins on Monday, so not too far away, but winter still holding a firm grasp here on East Tennessee as of now. We will get back closer to average, though, as we head through the rest of the week, but signs of cooler weather once again arrive as we head into the weekend. So hopefully for now, you stay warm, enjoy your Tuesday. Of course, we'll have the latest on the forecast coming up for you on WVLT News at noon.